Sashi
Buki Jushi Metocham Rira Rinshin Yinde Gempati Sangye Shindu Mite Uwargi Jokun Namda Shingla Chuparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamyatayami
Sangye
Chudam Soki Choknam La Jamchu Bardu Dagmi Kyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Jola Benchir Sangye Druparsho
Sangye
Chudam Soki Choknam La Jamchu Bardu Dagmi Kyapsuchi Dagi Shunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Drola Benchir Sangye Druparsho
Sangye
Chudam Soki Chognam La Jamchu Bardu Dagmi Kyapsuchi Dagi Shunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Drola Benchir Sangye Druparsho
Shogi Shmogi.
Let's get the shook over there.
All right. I don't know why everybody's text is getting harder instead of easier. I'm going to go back 2 paragraphs. Okay. I mean, not just. I'm going to go back for 1 minute. So we're talking about Namrikpe Kap in the context of the mind only. Okay. Which is, what is that in word in Sanskrit? Vijñaptis. Vijñaptivadins. Those mentalists. I like to say mentalists.
Conceptualists.
Okay.
Conceptualists.
And they say that when a person who understands the terms looks at blue, looks at the color, something which is blue, like the sky. When they look up at the sky, three appearances are coming in their mind. 3 different appearances, and they're not the same. The first one, the blue of the sky is appearing to be blue. Okay, that's the easy one. The sky is appearing blue. Okay. Then secondly, that blueness is appeering as if it were a outer object. You know, oh look, the sky's out there. I wish I could fly to the sky. You see what I mean? And then there's a difference between, okay, Tani Jupi Jukshir. Okay, that's a very, very important mind only. It should be, it's a mantra, it's one of those mantras. Say Tani Jupi Jukshir.
Tani Jupi Jukshir.
Tani Jupi Jukshir.
Tani Jupi Jukshir.
Yeah. This is what I call coffee cup. This is what I call coffee cup.
Okay.
That's coffee cup Tani Jupi Jukshi. The thing to which the term coffee cup is applied when I apply. See, I mean, they repeat juk. Tani Jupi Jukshi. Juk also means cockroach in Yiddish, so it's a good word. Tani Jupi Jukshi. The basis which receives the label when we give a label. Something like that. The thing which receives the label when we give a label. We have that concept in Madhyamika, highest Madhyamika. The parts of the pen are given the name pen. Okay, but more than the name, in the highest interpretation, the luminous picture comes out of the seed and is applied to the parts of the pen.
Term.
We call it term, but it's not a word. It's a
not
picture.
meaning.
It's a mental picture. So when they say in middle way that things are just labels, the label is a picture coming out of the karmic seed. And if you know that, you can easily be a real philosopher of Buddhism. If you don't know that, you will forever wander around. Okay, and very few people know that. You see, when you say Mingde Shaktsam, just established in words and terms, the term refers to a picture coming out of the mental seed. Okay, it's the the game is not names. The game is mental pictures. Because that's what comes out of karmic seeds.
Is that the
There
same
might be a mental picture of a name, but that's just the weird.
Doxum.
Mingde Daksam.
Mingde Taksam and Tope Taksam.
Did you say
I
Shaksam?
think so.
Mingde Shaksam.
Or Doxum?
I talked by Taksam.
You
Like-
can say Mingde Daksam.
Batak?
You can say that. But that's same.
It means the same thing as talked by Taksam.
What's Shak?
Well, that topa is the
Applied.
topa is no as,
Right.
and it means the mental image. It doesn't. Topa without an s can mean wrong idea. Like
Right.
jikta is a topa. But
What's Shak? Is that
established joke,
joke?
past tense of joke.
Joke. Okay.
Yeah, established as existing.
Shak.
Anyway, I wanted to point out here, and I think I didn't do it exactly right last time. I wanted to point out here that the third one, the third appearance, he didn't get yet to self-existence of things in the mind-only school. He didn't get there yet. He's not there yet. The third one is not that. It's just that he didn't say jukbe jukshir rangi tsiniki drupa. He didn't say exist by itself. He didn't say that. He just said, this is what I call cup. This is what I call blue. This sky is what I'm giving the name blue. That's the third thing that appears to you.
Okay.
If someone said, what are you calling blue? You say, oh, it's the sky. Now, if you thought it had to be called blue, then in this school, that's half of thinking things are self-existent.
Yeah.
What's the other half?
Thinking that things outside themselves
Yeah, the
are
second
really
one.
coming from
The
your...
second one. Okay. Got it? So you've got the two mind-only, you're setting up here for the two mind-only versions of self-existence of things. One, it's an outside thing.
Right.
I'm not watching my own mind. I'm not watching pictures in my own mind. In the
First
Kunshi,
contact.
right? So this is where his text marries her text.
Oh.
Okay?
Have a party.
Because we're studying relationships downstairs. And then third one is, and by the way, when you say, this is what I give names to, this is what I call coffee cup, we always divide it into two, mo and kirpa. Mo and kirpa. Okay.
Essence and
That's
particulars.
Yeah,
Details and...
mo means the big one, coffee cup.
Right.
Kirpa means the details. This is the, and traditionally, those are three.
Starting duration.
Could you
Yes.
say characteristic for K-bar as well?
You can say, yeah, you can say that. Feature. Yeah, anyway, yeah, traditionally there's three. This is the starting of the cup, this is the staying of the cup, this is the ending of the cup. Okay? It's not like this is the cup that's round or has a bigger lip or... Those are not the classic characteristics of the cup. In this case. Okay?
Starting state.
So far I don't think, I mean, I'll tell you something interesting. Which of these are false as they stand now?
The outer object.
There's three ways of
The
appearing,
third one.
and how many of them are false so far?
In what school?
In mind only.
2 is false then.
Two.
Two's definitely false.
Yeah.
Because he mentioned chiru,
Oh yeah, outside.
That's
you know,
directly addressing
appearing
the
as an
concept.
outer object. How many others are false?
3 is also false.
Three's not false yet, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I see.
Nobody said Rankitinigidupa. Nobody said has to be what I call. It just says what I call.
Oh, it is what you call.
Okay, yeah. Nobody said
It is the thing that has a little applied to it.
Tanijupi Jukshi Rangshinki Drupa. Nobody said that yet.
Okay.
That it had to be what I call cup.
Right.
Or that it has to be what I call blue. He didn't say that.
Right.
It just appears to you that that's what I'm calling blue, the sky. That part's not a problem. Now, did he just leave out self-existent, or did he really mean not to say? I don't know. Let's see.
Don't they, doesn't mind
Just
only
the-
accept by definition?
Break down all 3. Just the breakdown of the Tibetan.
Oh, let's go. Okay. This blue
This blue.
of the sky,
Uh-huh.
it's a visible thing,
It's a blue.
Uh-huh.
So,
and it has the qualities of starting
Starting.
that visible thing to have,
uh-huh.
etc., meaning staying and stopping.
Uh-huh.
You didn't mention it. And it is the thing to which I can apply these terms. What? This is blue. This is visible form,
Uh-huh.
which is no, or this is the starting of visible form. This is the middle of a visible form.
Okay.
Okay, it is what you can apply those terms to.
Okay, these are keyboards.
This is a blue to which I can apply those terms, whether it's the essential nature or the characteristics.
Okay.
Okay, but nobody here in number 3 yet said it had to be what I call blue. That's the problem. It's not that you call it blue. It's not that this is what I call blue. You can call Neil Young's music the best in the universe. That's okay. But if you think it has to be called the best in the universe, then you have a problem.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, maybe not.
So it would be there is 3 ways in which a mental consciousness,
Well, a consciousness of the eye.
consciousness of the eye, sorry,
Yeah.
I meant in my mind I was saying
Yeah, that's okay.
eye. No. Where do I
And you
throw
gotta,
in
and
the-
this is the setup, right? This
Right.
line is the setup. When a person who knows
Yeah.
Yeah.
about
What?
names,
Is
No.
it about names or is it about...
suppose they weren't a Dajangi Kibu, would there be a problem? Which one
Yeah,
of
if they
these
don't know
3
what
would be a
blue
problem
is, then-
if you said see me,
See.
See me.
Well, the third would
See
definitely
me.
be a problem.
See me.
Is that the pronunciation of definition?
Sini.
See.
thank
Oh, it's
you.
Russian?
Что значит?
We're all like,
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
Что значит?
Можно.
Значит,
По-английски.
All 3 of them.
It's the blue of the sky. It's the Russian for the blue of the sky.
Okay.
Okay, so you're not a Dajangi Kibu. You're not a person who's familiar with that term.
oh.
Okay,
Right.
if you weren't,
Oh no, the first and the
Yeah.
third.
you wouldn't think the third one here.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't
Right.
think the third one here.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you
That's
never
what we
see
call
him,
singing.
It's like a baby
So
before the
Dajang Kewu here just means someone who knows the word blue.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Okay, someone who knows the word.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
because the third one couldn't happen if they were not a Dajangi Kibu.
Nor could the
Even my
first.
kid knows blue.
Okay.
If
Huh?
you don't, if you don't
He
know
probably
the
says
word,
blue, right?
He says blue, green, anytime he sees
Huh?
any color.
could the first the second definitely does. It's an, it's an outside sound. But is it
Sorry, thinking I
is
didn't
the
get.
first true?
No,
Right. I didn't think so. So only the second is
the
true.
first one just involves their concept of blue and not a word for blue.
Right.
Right.
So I believe that the third one's the only problem if they're not a Dajangi Kibu.
Oh. Okay, I
Okay.
misunderstood what you just said.
Because the third one's the only one dealing with names.
Okay.
Okay.
So how do we weave together this?
According, here in the mind-only school, here wearing the mind-only hat, he's starting that. He's careful to start with that. Here, while we have our mind-only hats on, when a person who knows the words involved, like blue, looks at something which is blue,
So
Okay.
at the time they're looking at something.
when they look at something which is blue, literally it says when they look at blue, but I think in a translation, it might be smoother to say when they look at something which is blue. There are 3 images come up in their mind. I wouldn't say appearances or something like that. We don't say that.
So
You
instead
know,
of
when I said
non-way
schmuck, did the image of your ex-husband come up in your mind? We don't say, did you have an appearance of your ex-husband? You see what I mean? We don't use language like that. Did you have an image come up in your mind? Well, what? Well, there's 3 images that come up in your mind, the blue, an image of blue comes in your mind.
Yeah, I get the 3 parts. I don't
Okay.
get how the end and the
Oh,
niche de la, and then after.
So this is the subject of the
Girouet.
sentence. Is up here. When a guy who knows what he's talking about, who knows the words involved,
See.
looks at something blue,
Looks at
well,
blue.
then the 3 images come up in their mind. What are they?
Anyway.
Number 1, the blue, they have an image in their mind of this thing as blue.
Right.
Number 2, they have an image of their mind of this thing as an outer
Outer
object.
object.
And number 3, they have an image in their mind that this is what I call blue.
And those are all considered part
To
of
a
this
to a eye consciousness
Yeah, that's part of
Um,
mixing.
when
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Word.
Why?
Are we gonna play word for this one? Yeah.
Because
Oh.
it's
There's a very sweet answer.
Yeah.
I'll give you $50.
because it's
The
mistaken.
basis of the basis consciousness.
Yeah. It's in that part.
You're in the right room, but you're in the wrong corner.
Right. It's the other part of the kunchi. It's in the.
Huh?
It's in the other part of the kunchi.
The thing that is the basis of the basis
Because
consciousness.
the bok chops,
He's trying to. You're close. You're really hot. I'm about to lose $50.
bok chops
His
label.
what he said was, but we're talking about a sense consciousness. Are you telling me the sense consciousness misunderstands?
Yes.
Oh, I see. As opposed to consciousness.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the mental consciousness can say, oh, look, outside blue.
Right.
But that's not what we're saying.
Because
We're saying the sense
Because
consciousness
Because
is
the sense
mistaken.
consciousness are contained inside the kunshi. They're the objects of the
They're in a room. There's 3 groups in the room.
With the 3
Right.
touches.
The sense consciousness.
The object,
There's the objects,
the
there's
powers,
the powers,
and the bok chops that sully
Bok
the
there's 2 nasty poisons.
Oh, so not the
There's
sense
2 ladies there serving martinis.
It's like a casino.
The seed to see things as self-existent, and the seed to see people as self-existent. And because those 2 ladies are in the room, everybody else is conscious.
They're polluting everyone else.
So I owe you. Do I owe you 25? Did he get it? I don't know.
Cup
No.
of coffee.
I'm
Yeah,
not
he
gonna.
does it.
Sure,
Yeah.
totally.
He
did.
was he was saying bok choc. I mean,
I'll take the other half.
he was trying to get there. I say he gets half. I say half. I knew I might lose some money on that one. I just happened to have it ready.
Percentage.
He's a banker. Okay,
So to speak.
so it does apply to milkshake. That's the point. That was his. He was uncomfortable with that.
And
That's
so
what
then-
he's trying to say.
And then the Gyurwei Mun 4 appears as
Sorry, which
having
word?
become to the eye consciousness.
Oh, it appears to be. There's the Dani grammar case. It appears to be what we give the name to. It appears to be what we give the name to. Please don't say foundation or basis of the name. I mean, who says that? This is what I call cup. I don't say this is the foundation of what I call cup. Because if you want your reader to misunderstand it, use that language.
Right.
This is the foundation of what I call cup.
The thing I'm
Just
calling
say, this is the thing I call a cup.
Right.
This is the thing I give the name cup to.
cup.
That's even better. This is the thing I give the name cup to. Okay. Jukshir. Okay. All right. Okay, let's start the class.
5 minutes.
Please read.
Oh, we didn't.
Oh,
Degi
yeah.
Tseni. Mikshe la ngun po tsuji tar nangwe nangwa de ni drempe yurdu shene de la shente di ni ngun po di ngun po poe kiwao she so kitane je pe topa ngun zin mikshe de rang top ki drenching.
This is nasty. I think it's the hibernating bear thing, but I'm not sure.
Let's see what we got here.
Let's go piece by piece, okay? Why?
What's the reason?
Okay, why do you get those 3 images in your mind? Okay, we're not going to say appearances, right? Why do you get those 3 images in your mind? Well,
Makes him a good. Oh.
yeah, isn't that an interesting mistake?
Blue in the way that blue appears.
The way that, yeah, the eye consciousness gets an image of blue,
Appearing as
okay,
the appearance.
appearing in its mind. It's
Appearing as the appearance.
Teini,
Done
that blueness, okay, Teini,
that.
Chembe yu to chene. It's because it's actually remembering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Memory. Object.
No.
The thing you remember.
The thing you remember.
I don't know if this is the Abhidharma thing of the eye, the physical eye, power, the cells at the back of the eye detect blue. And then there's a time gap between that and the awareness of blue.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know if that's being called like a memory. You see, when the blue makes its appearance to the awareness of the eye, okay, what's really happening is that it's an object of that I consciousness is memory. It's recalling blue. Temba. Okay, chene. De la shente. This shen normally has negative connotations of shenyu.
Attachment?
The object.
Well, you can say attachment in the normal sense of the word shemba, but here it means believe
Right.
in a wrong way.
I think we.
Okay, it believes something in a wrong way.
Or we think about it in a
So, say again?
or we think about it in a wrong way.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying
hold it
that,
to
I'm
be.
trying to struggle through this sentence. I'm trying to take small bites.
Okay.
Normally, shemba is mistaken.
Okay.
It feels something about it. That's really what shemba means. It has a feeling about it. And then the implication is a wrong feeling. It feels something about it.
Yeah.
Shenyu. Okay. You can say belief, but belief is almost too much for an eye
Right.
consciousness to do in a millisecond.
Right. It takes it as.
It has a feeling about
Or
it. You can say that.
something.
You can take that. Okay, shente. And then it says let's go down here.
Okay.
The I consciousness, which is perceptio. What's the Latin? Kleptio, kleptomania.
Oh, except grabbing.
Which is
Yeah.
there's a nice
Seizing.
English word,
Oh.
which is
Feeling?
Seizing, grasping,
No, it's,
holding.
I know what you're thinking.
Cleaning?
no.
Cleaning?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What is it?
Apprehending?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I'll give you
$5
later.
I'm gonna give this lady
Okay,
$1.
Where's the apprehending?
Blue. It's apprehending blue.
Okay.
It's keptio in Latin. We have the same thing. Perception comes from grasping. Okay. When the I consciousness apprehends blue, okay, then it pulls up den. Okay, automatically, without thought. Rangtoki,
Of its own power.
automatically. Okay, it automatically
Remembers.
pulls up things. Attention that what.
The image. The thought.
So it pulls up this topa, this
That's wrong
idea.
idea.
Well, this I would say idea here.
Yeah.
So far, it's just idea
All right.
that gives names, that applies names. Okay, it pulls up an idea that applies names such as
Oh man.
this is blue, this is the beginning of the blue, etc. Let's do it in
Okay.
pieces again, okay? Because I'm not clear either. This part is easier, okay? Subject of the sentence is Munzin Mixie. The I consciousness, which is apprehending blue, okay? It pulls up of its own accord what? An idea. Topa. What is the idea? It's an idea which gives names to things, gives terms to things, applies terms. Taneche. It's an idea which applies terms to things. Well, what kind of terms? It says this is blue, or this is the beginning of the blue, etc. Terms like that.
Oh, okay.
It
This
applies
is-
terms.
The eye consciousness.
Okay, that's the result.
Uh-huh.
What happened before that is the first part of the sentence. Okay, the way in which the I consciousness, okay,
Blue appears to be eye
Mikshe la
consciousness.
mumbo su- how is it that to I consciousness
Uh-huh.
the blue makes its appearance? Okay, and then it treats it as an object of memory, or recalled,
Oh yeah. Holds for
and it believes that.
Shen, we're saying is believe here.
I think so, yeah. Or you can say
Holds on.
attached to, believes in it.
So like you see a little
It
blue
considers
and
it
then
as that or something.
They're
Like
not
believe
sure.
just seems like.
Believes in.
I mean, you always say that if there's a word for believe, they would use it. like they would say duh. Right?
Say again?
Which word?
That
here?
if
You
it
could
was
say believe, I think.
Okay.
I mean, hankers is the real one, but
Yeah, they got a hankering.
okay. I would say feel almost,
Yeah, it feels like, yeah.
because it doesn't seem like there's time for it to state a belief. It belief seems to be too intellectual. Okay, we're talking about eye consciousness. Automatically has some kind of feeling. Okay,
Feels like it is.
Yeah.
that's all I can say on that. I think let's go on and see if we get more clarification. What would logically be if we didn't look at the words? You know, what's supposed to be going on?
With those three appearances is why we have those
Yeah,
three
we're like-
appearances.
Yeah. How could that relate to memory?
I mean,
Because we don't see, right? According to
Well, if it's
You're-
the hibernating bear thing,
your
You
eye
don't
sees a little
see.
something, and then you index a bunch of memories that you have of blue and slap them onto that thing.
Or it almost seems like the eye, your awareness of your eye, always automatically starts slapping names on things. Okay, that seems to be the process.
If the
First
eye's
it
always-
appears as blue,
Uh-huh.
and then it appears as an outer thing, and then you hear words about it. This is blue. They're talking about the third one.
Mm-hmm.
The even before the mind gets involved, the awareness of the mind. In the mind only school, the awareness of blue is already saying this is blue. A little part of the awareness of blue is giving names to things already. The awareness of blue is automatically calling up Demba. These little namers, tiny japers, who are applying names to this image already. Oh, this is blue. You're in your mind. You're thinking this is blue. And somewhere deep buried in your text is the idea that the consciousness of the mind applies names. Remember? I don't know.
yeah, we were have it merely labeled as like.
Its function is to apply names. It's in your text.
But this is
So
just
anyway,
the
I
eye
think what
focus.
this is talking about is the automatic tendency of the perception of blue to give it a name. This is blue. Okay, I'm seeing blue. Okay, that's what it's talking about. It's talking about the third kind of appearance,
Right.
image.
The automatic eye consciousness.
So you mean the
Give it a
automatic
root.
part
Yeah,
applies only to the third.
I believe
Is that
this
what you're
whole
saying?
paragraph is about the third one.
Oh, the whole paragraph. Okay.
Well, it's about the process. The process. First, blue appears to you. Then you think, what was the second one?
It's outside.
It's
Outside
outside.
object.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's an outside object. And then some part of your eye awareness
Yeah.
makes a sentence.
Right.
This is blue,
Right. Hold
and you
on.
hear it in your mind. This is blue. Oh, here's blue.
It's holding it as blue. Yes, right.
Yeah.
And somehow that's based on a memory.
Well, I think what he's saying is here, the verb "den" meant the eye consciousness elicits, pulls up
Right.
this
Recalls.
idea. This is blue. It automatically pulls up this sentence. This is blue. Here's the past tense of "den." This "den" and this "den" are connected. Okay. This is the present tense. Pulls up. And this is pulled up. The object pulled up. It doesn't have to be the noun from memory. It could be a past tense of pull up, which is pulled up. The object which is pulled up. Let's sit with it, okay? Let's sit with it. It took two classes to get the last part.
Wow.
Blue is appearing as blue. I feel like an outer object, and I hear my mind say, "This is blue." And now I think we're getting more detail about how we hear the mind say it's blue. Okay. But let's come back to it. I think it'll be too slow if we stay there.
time do we have left?
15
It's
minutes.
okay. It's okay. Let's get it right. Please read.
Ngompo she jupe dunde ngowo dangin drina.
Keep going.
Ngonzin mikshe la ngompo jitar nangwe nangwa deni la shene de ngowo suk yino shelen pepe gunlong gitopa mikshe de toki drenu peso.
So he's still talking about this concept of pull up an idea or elicit an idea, okay? So maybe that'll help us do the last part, okay? And we'll just keep trucking through and then go back. If you ask, okay? If you inquire, if you inquire,
Okay. I thought I heard require,
what is the goal as opposed to the kipar?
right?
What is the
What's the essential
That's-
nature
Yeah,
of this object, meaning the...
the blue.
Yeah, good. When you say blue,
Yeah.
blue shejapa, when you say blue, then what's the nature of the thing you're talking about? What's the nature of the thing you're calling blue? Okay, if you ask. Now here's the verb for to give an answer. Landepa means give an answer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So someone answers. Okay. Who answers? Kun longi topa. That gets nasty. Anyway,
answers.
let's go to the beginning of this sentence. These are nasty. Okay. Munjin mikshe is okay,
With eye consciousness holding blue.
which apprehends blue.
Well,
Okay.
apprehends
La to it, to that unconsciousness.
Something appears like blue.
The way in which blue appears. Okay. Ngobojita no inoa. The way in which blue appears. Okay. De ni la shene. It believes it. Maybe he's talking about outer object. I don't know. Okay. The eye consciousness believes it. It falls for it.
Right,
Okay.
right. And from thinking
Falls
that
for
that is
it.
blue,
And then it responds to the mental question, oh, what's the nature of what we're looking at? It says, I'll tell you what's the nature of what we're looking at. This is something visible. This, you want to know what's the nature of this thing we're looking at right now, which is blue, okay? It belongs to the category of, this is suk as the
Visible form.
first of the objects in the kunshi. It's not suk as the first of the five heaps.
Okay.
Okay, a visible form. Okay, visible stuff. Sometimes I translate it as colors and shapes.
The
Okay.
essence of it is visible form.
Yeah, this is a kind of visible thing. You know, this is a kind of visible thing. Okay, someone gives an answer. Someone asks a question. You know, what's the nature of this thing we're looking at? Okay, that's the question up here. And somebody gives a lendep. Somebody gives an answer. And they say, oh, the nature of this thing we're looking at is that it's visible. It's something visible. Okay.
Colors and shapes could be good there.
This blue, as it appears to us now, as we're perceiving blue, as we apprehend blue. Now, here's some kind of wrong idea. Denyi la shen. It takes it as it is. It wants to take it as it is. You see, So it believes in it. It believes that. It believes it. So I wish it had said outer object or something. Okay. It believes it somehow. Okay. What? The mikshe, the visual consciousness, believes in the blue somehow. And then it says,
That what it's seeing is blue, or that or believes that it's seeing.
he
blue?
doesn't say what it believes.
Yeah.
It just says it believes it. I think it believes the second and third of the nangsos, that it's an outer object, and that, although he didn't say it, that it had to be called blue. It's what we call blue, meaning in the sense of it had to be. It's had to be what we call blue. Neil Young had to be called good music. You see
Of
what I mean?
course, yeah.
Okay. So anyway, there has to be some wrong thing going on if Shen is here.
Right.
Okay, I believe. Okay. So, if I were going to translate it right now, I'd say, okay, when you say blue, then what's the nature of the thing you're talking about? Question. Somebody asks a question.
If you ask.
Now somebody gives an answer.
Yeah, Linda.
When the eye consciousness, which is apprehending blue, has a feeling about the blue appearing to it, okay, and it actually talks to itself and says, "This is something visible," and I think that implies outer, and I think it implies have to be called what it's called, okay. Depa. Why he mentions Kunlong here, I have no idea.
Maybe we should look at the card.
It almost attributes motivation to the perception of blue. Okay, Kunlong di Topa. Okay, so Topa is normally a wrong idea. Why he calls it Kunlong?
It wants the mercy of blue.
This might be just the verb of elicit, kundulang.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's not motivation necessarily. It pulls forth.
Tells it. Yeah.
It pulls forth. It gives this answer. It raises this answer. Kundulangba.
Conjured up by.
And
This idea, it conjures up this idea.
I'd say something like this idea gives its answer. This idea proposes an answer.
Okay.
That's what I'd say for Kunlong. This idea in your mind proposes an answer. I'd say Kunlong. And that proposal is elicited by the I consciousness itself. It has that power. It has the power to do so.
The eye consciousness has the power to do so.
Yeah, to elicit this idea that says, oh, this is what we call blue. Okay? This is what we call visible. This is a visible form. Identifies it.
Is he ending a sentence with an agentive?
Because it has the power.
Okay, right, but she's okay.
Let's go one more sentence,
Weird
just
to put
so
so there,
we'll have
yeah.
something to cook for next time.
Is it weird to put a so
Something
there?
more to cook.
No, it's possible.
Even though he's
What makes
white,
you
then
think
it's-
that?
It's an answer to
Because
the
I
question.
believe blah blah.
Right. They usually put a
Right.
cheer, don't they?
Yeah.
Right,
That
that would
particular-
typically be a
Well, you can
cheer.
say new Beijing. No, but no.
But that's by.
Just not necessary.
The
Could
saw
be,
doesn't
you know,
necessarily
by this.
point
By
to
this,
the right.
yeah, I
Right.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
By being able to do that.
Right.
Yeah, but usually that points to whatever comes after it.
No.
I guess
It
not.
points to what comes before. The cheer.
I want to go
No,
2 more
stop.
sentences really
Oh,
fast because you didn't get much satisfaction today.
I'm sorry.
Alright, right?
You have 6 minutes.
Oh, I do have time.
Well,
Dana
we
Munson,
have
I'm just
6
gonna
minutes.
speed through this because this is I can understand, which is makes me feel better. Dana Munson Mixin and Lumenum would say, therefore, okay, and so it's good if we read the therefore because it's supposed to prove what. Maybe we'll understand more about what came before. Therefore, when when blue appears as blue, okay, Lumba Lumba Noah.
Yeah.
When, say, okay,
At the top.
therefore, when blue appears as blue
To
to the eye consciousness, which is perceiving blue,
apprehending blue.
which is apprehending blue, okay, it doesn't think, okay, it
Mind.
doesn't think this is Mingde Shaksang. There's the Shakya aspect.
Doesn't think that it's
It
merely
doesn't
a
think
label
that it's
applied.
This is not,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
substantial.
The application
It-
of words and terms.
yeah, the Mikshe says this is definitely not just
A label.
something I'm labeling. It's not coming from me. It doesn't exist just in names and terms. And we know that term means
The mental image.
the image coming out of the sea.
Image.
That's the important one. The name is not so important. The important one is the image coming out of the sea.
But
Okay?
should we take the liberty as far as translating?
No.
No.
Because that's one of those things that's revealed later.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way,
Yeah.
when we've been saying term all these 6 months, it means picture. There's somewhere in here he'll say that. Okay, or you can put it in a footnote.
Footnote later or something. Yeah.
But keep the revelations.
Yeah.
Let the author do the revelations.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
So we would
maybe-
say names and terms.
Yeah, it's
Our
not.
school of translation.
Okay, when blue appears as blue to the eye consciousness, which is apprehending blue, it doesn't think, oh, this is just a result of a picture coming out of my karmic states. It doesn't think that. Okay, it thinks rang ki netsu ki mune dupa. It's coming from its own side. Okay, it's coming about from the side mune. Okay, mu means face. Mu means face. Mu means face.
So in this case, it means side.
From this side, yeah, of its own nature,
So,
the way it sits. Okay, called nature. Netsu. Netsu means rangshin. Same thing. Okay, the way it sits.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just coming from its own nature. It's not that I'm calling it something. Okay, he didn't specifically say rangune drupa, existing from its own side. He didn't say that. He just said this is existing from the side of its own nature, but it implies that. Okay, drupa nawe nangso yupa shepe.
Through the conscious.
When you understand this process of how blue appears to the consciousness of blue, okay, when you understand this process, you understand what we mean when we say the mind thinks it has to be called a cup.
Right.
When you understand this process, you understand in the mind-only school the self-existence of things in the form of this must be what I call cup. This is what I call cup automatically. Okay, if you understand this process of all those 3 kinds of blue appearing, blah blah blah, then you understand what it is in this school for a thing to be called what it is automatically, which is half of their version of
Gotcha.
the self-existence of things. What's the other half?
That's
Outer
not the
object.
kunshi.
That it's an
It's
outer
just
object. Yeah. Let's read this sentence and then get it.
She ki ngompo shepe tane juk pe juk shir rangi tsene ki duk parnangwe dun ni deyin.
So, I'll just read it fast. Don't think too much.
2 minutes.
This is what we mean when we say that blue is appearing to the awareness of blue as if it had to be called blue automatically. And may I point out my original complaint? See this Rankitsenikudupa?
Yep.
Yeah.
Had to be called.
Yep.
Had to be what we call.
Uh-huh.
He didn't say that in the third
The
one.
first thing.
Right.
There's no Rankitsenikudupa here. Life would have been easier if there had been. Okay, I guess I could do about dun. But this dun here doesn't mean object, okay? It means that's what we mean when we say something is appearing to be what we call blue automatically, in and of itself. Magit Senikadupa can be in and of itself. It must be what we call blue. It must be called blue. It must be called best music in the universe. And again, as I said the other day, this is the root of much conflict in the world. You know, my version of what this is called is the only one.
Time's up, Geshe-la. Just
I want to just throw in this because it makes me feel better, and I'll spend more time with it, and you spend more time with it. Data nam tokawe neyembe. That's the way it is, but hey, let's face it, this is a tough point. Tokawe ne, difficult to understand. Okay, he's giving us some points. Look, this is hard to understand. Okay, and the only people who could ever understand it, tokni, the only people who are who could ever understand it are people who have the capacity to draw their thoughts within. They can look within themselves, and they can use their viveka. They can use their discrimination. They can turn it on themselves and try to detect what the hell's going on when you look at blue.
Yeah, right.
Those are the only people who are going to get this. You go home, you look at, put a blue thing in front of you, like put the TV on blue, and spend some time watching inside yourself what happens. Only those people talk new. Only
able to
they will be
realize it.
able to understand this point because they're so difficult. But if you don't want to do that, if you just want to read a book, you know, and depend on the words of another person,
You're mistaken.
you're going to make a boo-boo.
Keep saying this. I love it.
Yeah, he says, you know, you're going to have to go home and
And
try to
meditate.
figure it out by looking at blue things.
Yeah.
And introspection. Lo nang de chokpa means introspection.
Cool.
Okay, and you're going to get tied up in words. Don't just rely on other people's words. Okay. I think he's just trying to make us feel better. I don't feel that much better. But there you go.
Thank you.
All right.
I have been trying to stare at blue to understand what you're saying to me.
Well, you do hear something in your mind. Maybe go home and try to detect what you hear in your mind about blue, the word blue. Something like that. Okay. All right.
Sashi
Pugi Jushing Meto Cham Rira Bikshi Nyemde Gempadi Sangye Shingdu Mikte Owargi Jokunanda Shima Druparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamyatayami Di Kyokun Sunam Yeshe Sososhi Sunam Yeshe Rechukwe Dampa Kuni Toparsho
Shogi.